all of our pixels here at our Lurk Patrol casting desk that we definitely have. So
the broadcast you were watching has ended. Please refresh telephone.
You've got 50 seconds of
Is that
Twitch
how long the
delay.
delay is?
That is what I set my delay to.
Already.
So
we've got the ready from ReGen Phoenix, just waiting on Caffeinated Nights to give their ready as well. And then we're going to be getting on to game number 1. And I can see that we're on Towers of Doom, but I have absolutely no idea how we got here.
Well, that's an excellent point, Ektar. Let me help you understand how we got here. ReGen Phoenix went ahead and called the coin toss. Era correctly predicted that he would get it wrong, and therefore Caffeinated Nights has won the coin toss and opted for first pick, as you do in 2020. The bans were Alterac Pass by ReGen Phoenix, Dragonshire by Caffeinated Nights, back to Braxis for ReGen Phoenix, and finally Battlefield of Eternity by the Knights, and Arrow of ReGen Phoenix fame picked Towers of Doom as our game number 1.
I'm always a big fan of this map for the Bahamut Gaming trademark most comebackable map in the entire map pool.
It is pretty comebackable, and it makes for entertaining games most of the time, even if it isn't a dramatic comeback. So I'm pretty happy with this map selection overall. Definitely in my upper half of preferred maps. Has nothing to do with you know, not being Black Hearts or Forehead Junction. So
I genuinely don't even consider them when thinking of favorite maps. Like they're so low that they don't even hit on the scale.
Yeah, they're like haunted mines in the minds of the developers, just dead to them.
Oh my gosh, so rude.
So, yep, we've got the ready from Arrow. We've got the ready from Caffeinated Nights. We've got the ready from the casters. Let's get into this. This is game number 1 on Towers of Doom.
Towers of Doom. So it's been a hot minute since we've actually played against ReGen Phoenix, but it looks like for the most part they've kept the same lineup through from Season 9 into Season 10. Which means, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time we saw them we saw ReGen Phoenix play on this map, they had Darabo playing the Medivh to expedite rotations between mid and bot lane. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it is very good. That was a very good strategy that they used to extreme effect, so we'll have to see if Caffeinated Nights are prepared for such a strategy of their own. Instead, they've gone with the Cho ban. I'd much prefer to see a Gall ban coming out early in the draft. Gall underrepresented in the ban strats, so make sure get your representation in ban Gall. And ETC for ReGen Phoenix, that's pretty reasonable.
JW Fergus, is tower strat always double soak top mid with 4 bot, or are there alternative basic strats? Kind of the 2 basic strats are the one that you described, and then having a 1-4 setup in the opposite, where you have one person in the top lane and have your 4-man rotating mid bot, which was actually the standard on this map way back in the day before they figured out that double soak was really powerful. But the thing that you can do with having a bruiser in the top lane and a rotating 4-man is you can pick a very gank heavy hero. I see Tracers and Genjis run in this role where they just rotate up and pick off the double soaking hero, because if you're able to get a kill, a successful gank on that hero that's double soaking, now there's 2 lanes that they're not soaking, which is really powerful in this map as well. First pickup Ana I think is really interesting here.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice. Ana is pretty powerful right now, so I'm not going to argue it too much, but it is just kind of interesting. Ana continues to be a good hero.
Yeah.
Especially into Diablo, who requires lots of healing and has a big hurt box to be slept out of his engages.
The thing, though, is a lot of teams these days, and for the recent history, actually, have been really prioritizing tanks and bruisers. So seeing that Diablo come out in the first round is not a surprise. Seeing Imperius come out before the second ban phase is also, like, pretty standard these days. It's just interesting seeing someone open up with a healer, although if you're going to open up with a healer, I think it's probably Ana.
Ana is pretty diveable, so we'll have to see if ReGen Phoenix pivots their draft just a little bit, or if they've got something specific they have in mind that they're just going to keep going. Orphea and Imperius picked up, so loaded up on kind of the meta-popular power picks right now. On both sides, really, but especially from the Caffeinated Knights, because Orphea, pretty good right now.
Did just recently get hit with the nerf bat a little bit, so she's less oppressive than she was a week ago, but she's still quite strong.
Still pretty impressive.
Diablo is just a menace. Like, you kind of need a dedicated answer to Diablo these days, or he just will never die. Ana is a good part to a dedicated answer because you can get that 10% health damage as well as the Bionic Grenade to cut that healing, but I don't think that she alone is enough of an answer to a full Souls Diablo.
Yeah, definitely agreed. You do need to have some sort of big chunky damage that really allows your team to burn down a Diablo, and I think Imperius is that big chunky damage. He's been very popular. ReGen Phoenix.
So it's normally standard to go Q on like 1, 4, and 7, but if you pick up percent damage on 1, you can really start to shred that giant health pool that is the Lord of Terror.
Especially post 20, yeah. ReGen Phoenix, so opting for the Zool, they've done this all the way for several seasons now, and kind of were, I would say, a little ahead of the metagame when the Zool rework came out, as they started picking up Zool Double Soak on this map pretty early compared to a lot of other teams. And speaking of the Double Soak, Malthael going to be the counter Double Soaker.
Yeah, so both teams going for the same strategy of 1 mid-top and 4 bottom. I gotta say, I really like that ReGen Phoenix have a Sylvanas. It makes your 4-man push just so strong.
Yeah, and you would additionally get Empowered Pumpkin Sappers if you choose to go into them. Darbo opting for the Tychus, very interesting here. I was wondering if we were going to get maybe one of those ganky heroes. Darbo with a wide DPS pool, and a very proficient player can play a lot of different ones. And Malthael quite gankable, so we'll have to see if ReGen Phoenix is going to make that happen.
It doesn't look like they have a huge gank potential unless they really put a lot of resources into it. They basically have to rotate Diablo in to make a successful gank onto Malthael, but neither team has a particularly great way of ganking, although I just am now noticing that with the Imperius and Malthael and Murden, they've got a really beefy front line.
Yeah,
on the side of the Caffeinated Knights. You don't typically see another Bruiser picked up when you already have the double soaking Malthael.
That is true. I did not even take that into account. So, came for the Recyclic, and he isn't even playing. Very unfortunate. We'd all like to see some Recyclic up in here. But, you know, the roster be what the roster be in the current state.
As we are wont to do during these loading screens, we always got to point out the portrait synergy, which we have the very long-standing portrait synergy of ReGen Phoenix with that neutral purple and pink globe. Love to see it. It matches their logo, matches their color scheme. Well done. On the other side, Caffeinated Knights are a group of 5 individuals, and you know what? I'm all about it, because, you know, for the most part, so is my team.
Yep, that is a good one nonetheless. On the left side of the map, in the blue trunks, we have ReGen Phoenix with Mudge playing the Lord of Terror, Arya playing Stukov, Rabid Penguin on the Sylvanas, Darabo playing the Infested Tychus, and Arrow playing the Zool.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, there are the Caffeinated Knights, with Harborim playing the Ana, Static playing the Imperial Lord, Ghost Dragon playing Orphea, Osmanthus playing Murad and Muradin, which I think is still banned, and Ark is playing the Malthael.
Judges, we'll have to see if we get, what is it, 2-minute mark?
I believe you're correct in that.
We'll have to see if the teams opt for that or not. Mudge is going to take a whole bunch of damage in the early phases of that bush fight, and going to mean that he's going to be a little behind, a little pressured in the rotation as Sylvanas goes ahead and heads down to that bottom lane to compensate. So pretty normal start for both these teams.
Ooh. Ooh. Sleep Engage is going to get followed up with the Imperial Lord Spear and a huge chomp, and that's a very decisive first blood going over to the Caffeinated Knights.
That is the power of Ana right there, is being able to put somebody to sleep and immediately engage on them. So far, 2 out of 2 sleep darts that I have seen have hit. That's quite nice. So, Harbor,
as expected, Ana is going into sleep at level 1. It's basically been all sleep dart all the time at level 1 ever since the series of nerfs that came out to the biotic grenade talents at 1, 4, and 7. Sometimes you'll see the debilitating dart picked up on 4, but very rarely do you see anything other than sleep dart on 1 and 7 especially.
Yeah, I mean, getting the cooldown reduced by 4 seconds on the level 1 talent is actually kind of insane considering how powerful the sleep dart is. And it puts it on cooldowns closer to Diablo's and most tanks' engage timer, so it's a very, very important cooldown, or talent to pick up.
Both teams grabbing their pumpkin sappers at about the same time. Another big spear and sleep dart coming out, and that is going to be another kill, this time out onto Diablo. Darabo's using trait trying to get some counter damage done, but kind of takes more damage than he's able to chunk out. And there's still 3 pumpkin sappers alive pushing out under this bottom wall, and it looks like at least probably 1 or 2 of them will get in.
Sylv pops the trait and is going to be punished severely, but does save 2 of the pumpkin sappers from hitting. So top wall still intact, the top tower intact, top wall is down, but
that was a kind of cute, cheeky little play coming out from Rabid Penguin to pop Sylv trait to make sure that not all of them could go in. Big spear coming out onto Darabo, gets hit with the biotic grenade. And the Orphan with that empowered auto attack is going to secure the kill. Mudge falls for a second time as well, and things are really all coming up Millhouse right now for Caffeinated Knights. This is a bit of a slobber knocker so far.
Yeah, the dual engage right now, not even of Murden, but of Static on the Imperius and Harborum on the Ana have created all 4 of the kills so far, and it is putting Caffeinated Knights into a fantastic position early on, but looking up top, Ark's getting rooted by this Zool, pops the trinket to stay alive, does not. Arrow smartly uses the cleave from the scythe to go ahead and hit the tower, finish the kill, so they'll take both top altars, putting ReGen Phoenix at a core health lead, but sitting at about 3/4 of a level disadvantage.
True, but that kill out onto the double soaker means that for the time being that the Caffeinated Knights have to do a kind of awkward rotation. They miss a couple of minions, I think, in the top lane from before. Static rotating up to catch mid, which means their bot lane is down to a 3-man, and there's actually a 4-person rotation coming up into the top. Mudge is going to look for an engage onto Static. Gets the flip, the initial charge not getting the stun, and Static is barely able to walk out of there. Is going to have to hearth to get that hit points back up.
Yeah, I think the comp of ReGen Phoenix is not... It's not an early game comp, but it also isn't a late game comp, but in an okay way. Darabo's damage starts coming online as the In the Rhythm is stacked up on 4, and on 7 with the Relentless Soldier, he's a lot less prone to just being CC'd while he's channeling trait. So that's a very important part. Also, we've got not full auto attack build coming out from Diablo. I was going to start mentioning it, but we've got a very interesting build coming out that I just plain haven't seen with this meta. Ooh, another gank on Arc.
Yeah, and he is very killed to death by that 5-person rotation. Arrow is going to be able to really level out some of that XP differential now that he's double soaking and Caffeinated Knights are not. And I don't feel like I get to say this often. I think that ReGen Phoenix have a mid-game comp.
Yeah.
I think they really come into their stride in that 13 to 16 area. But maybe they fall off a little bit by comparison coming into level 20.
Yeah, it's very possible those kind of comps do exist. I think Varian also is one of those horseshoe-style heroes that's good in the after he gets his heroic, but before he falls off scaling later on. So, yeah, I think that's I think you're exactly right with that.
We have the gentleman's agreement coming out, both sides just not fighting and taking their own. We do still have a little bit of an advantage in XP going over in favor of the Caffeinated Knights. But it's a lot closer than it was just a few minutes ago after these pair of successful ganks out onto Melvale.
Yep, that is very true. Static goes in for the spear, but you see the damage now counter put out. Darbo's trait plus the Stukov silent slow combo really costs Caffeinated Knights a lot of health on the engage, and Arc is going to get ganked here in the mid lane again.
Yeah, and he is definitely going to fall right as the level 10s are picked up for the rest of the Knights. We do have the Nano Boost. Ooh, we've actually got a Haymaker that gets used right there to secure a little bit of damage out on the area, but they're able to walk away. We have the Angelic Armaments, the Last Rites, and Crushing Jaws as well coming out from the rest of the Knights.
For ReGen Phoenix, I think everything looks pretty standard across the board with the Skeletal Mages. For Zool, Apoc, Static going to get engaged upon. Does go in for the Re-Spear, but it's going to take a lot of damage. Pops the Angelic Armaments, and does get to fire those off for no effect, so just a little bit of cooldowns traded for nothing gained so far, but ReGen Phoenix pressuring down this bottom lane as Altar is spawning here. Single Altar in the top of the bottom, the mid Altar.
I mentioned before, it's very uncommon for Ana to see anything other than E on 1 and 7. We have the uncommon situation where W is actually taken on 7. We had the debilitating dart as well, so not full sleep dart builds. So definitely a bit of a mix-up, and especially with the anti-healer getting picked up. That is a very unusual talent choice these days.
Yeah, I wonder if that's tech for Diablo. We'll have to see as Diablo does go in, but the silence from area is there to relieve him of some of the engage pressure. Muradin now in a lot of trouble. Last Rites finishes off Diablo, but counter kill is picked up onto the Muradin. Both traditional main tanks are taken out, but health bars much, much higher for ReGen Phoenix, and they're going to take control of this Altar and take an 8 core health lead.
Yeah, with Diablo coming back in, I really don't think that the Caffeinated Knights could have made an attempted re-engage with their level of health bars. An attempted engage coming out onto area, they do get slowed. Ghost Dragon looking for that chomp damage is going to get shoved away by Mudge, however. Area is actually still in a bit of a weird spot. Ghost Dragon, however, is barely staying out of range, using those repeated Q hits to just dash away over and over. Stays alive with about 1 hit from anything before they would fall.
Yeah, and we see that
take down Arrow, which means that the double soak is going to start going in favor of Arc again.
Yeah, that is a good case. I want to point out some differing talents as well. We've got the Allegrissimo on the Orphea level 4, giving her the capability of using Q more often, and we've got the Mind Devourer quest on level 7. So lots of varying talents from the standard that we generally see here for Caffeinated Knights.
We do have trait build coming out from the Imperius as well. We picked up Q on 7, but going trait on 1 and 4 is going to give them a little bit of that extra percent damage on the chonky Diablo, like we were mentioning before. But that they kind of need it with losing the 10% that they were going to be getting from their healer. Big engage coming out from both sides. Crushing Jaws hitting out onto area. Osmanthus is trying to provide that healing, but Orphan is going to be the next to go down. Malthael is still double soaking, so this is a 5 versus now 3 in the bottom lane, and I would like to see ReGen try to push and get some extra damage done as this objective is spawning in the bot lane.
Yep, no Mercenary Queen out for Sylvanas, so those pumpkins do not get extra power when nearby her, but nonetheless, front wall is down, wells up for both sides here, so neither team with that kind of advantage. ReGen Phoenix posturing for the top. Altar Darbo dashes out of the way of the bottom, engaged by Osmanthus, and it looks like with the Odin pop and Arrow joining the fight, ReGen Phoenix are just going to pick this up and take a 2-1 lead, respectively, for the core health.
Now the question is, what do they do with their people in the bottom lane? They still have Arrow down here, so the longer this goes on, the better it is for Caffeinated Knights if they're able to not let anything happen. We do have a Haymaker putting Arrow back into the enemy's fort. He gets brought down very low and is going to fall to the Orphan damage. Rabid Penguin is trying to duel Ghost Dragon and are able to get out of there successfully. A Sleep Dart comes out into a Crushing Jaws and Imperius combo. Tons of damage. Mudge is down to about half hit points, but he's pretty high on soul, so it's hard to take down, but these repeated Allegrissimo hits is going to get that kill out on a Mudge. That was literally just an R for a stack there, but it is going to be a stack. And that is 2 kills to none going over in favor of Caffeinated Knights, and immediately as he came down, Arc is back out to hit up that double soak.
Ooh, wow, and Darbo takes an Imperious Spear to the face, but a nice lurking arm from area does save him with about 140 health, so really nice job. Area's been on point so far with disrupting these engages with the Lurking Arm, and we do have the Virulent Reaction on 13 to make that combo even more potent with root capability.
Virulent Reaction is the thing that makes Stukov just such a joy to play sometimes. For anyone that doesn't, that is the combo where if you pop your trait while an opponent has a W and is standing in an E, you root them in the silence area. It's incredibly powerful because it's effectively a stun that lets you auto-attack a bit.
Yeah, it's one of the more powerful combos in the game, especially for the healer side of things. Level 16 now, up for the Caffeinated Knights, so they're going to have pretty much free reign over this middle bell tower. Top going to be split evenly between Arrow and Arc. So, ReGen Phoenix not trying to force anything. They do have plenty of core health to work with. So, again, 24 to 12. And they will continue working their way up to level 16.
Yeah, we have a 5-person rotation to the mid from ReGen, but it looks like they're just going to back off almost immediately. Arc is going to pick up that mid soak, and the rest of the Knights are going to get into bottom lane. They really want to try and get this bottom keep down. Yeah,
that becomes a very, very important aspect, as the next altar phase is a single altar phase just at the very bottom, so whoever has bottom bell tower control has a possibility of getting this, but if you don't have any bell towers, you're not getting that objective more than 9 times out of 10.
For anyone that doesn't know, when the middle teleport area opens up, that's when the forts on this map become keeps. A bit of an engage coming out on a Mudge, but he's able to walk out of it without too much worse for the wear.
Yep, that was a nice interrupt again from Area. The spear ended almost immediately after it started, so if she can keep up with that, that's going to be very good. Era going to have to pull the skeletal mages out up top. Does get the top camp and away with his life, but it did disrupt the rotation, required ReGen Phoenix to rotate into the mid lane, and now they're cut off from their bell tower down here in the bottom lane, so an opportunity for Caffeinated Knights to poke it down, but it doesn't feel like they're going to go for it.
And once again, we have the much faster rotation from Arrow. Even though Malthael has that on a pale horse, Arrow just leaves lanes sooner than the Malthael has been. So they have a couple seconds where they have a man advantage, but Malthael is here now, and everything is still pretty much even among teams.
Yep, and this is, I think, the first really true 5v5 fight we've seen all game. Mudge is going to take a bunch of damage off the start. Static put into a very awkward spot because of his missed spear. Osmanthus going for the playmaker in the back, does end up connecting and killing Arrow. Crushing Jaw's going to hit Mudge and another. Mudge is going to be taken out from the last rights. Area going to be taken out. This is a 2v2 fight. 3 players down on each side. Fourth now taken out in Rabid Penguin. Harborim being targeted down by Dara, but Ghost Dragon ending the fight at full health with 4 kills in the pocket, and that is a decisive fight win for the Caffeinated Knights.
It also just shows you why Orphea is such a powerful hero in today's meta. No one was able to pin her down. Really, the only person on the team that kind of can are Zool and Diablo. Diablo had already used his Shadow Charge, and Zool never really got close enough to try and hit her with that Bone Prison, so she just danced all around the battlefield and occasionally provided the big chomp.
Yep, that is the Orphea way. Let's see if we can pull up some damage stats. 60,000 damage dealt by the Orphea, next highest on the team. Although there are no true other DPS characters, Imperious at 27k. So Orphea filling that solo damage role that she's really needed to in this composition.
Question from the chat: what is the significance of the forts becoming keeps? They provide additional XP when you destroy them because they... it's the only map in the pool that still doesn't provide passive XP. It provides a static amount of XP when you pick it up. Also, they deal more damage and have more hit points. You do not get periodic catapult minions on this map, however.
Yep, that is the case. Level 20's picked up now for the Caffeinated Knights on the back of that 5-man team wipe. So we do have the Brand of Solarian, which combos very well with the Burn the Impure on level 1. So very important set of combos there. Sylph comes out to stop the Sappers from scoring. Playmaker goes out on Area. She's in a little bit of trouble, but it's going to cause Osmanthus' life. And Area doesn't even get taken out, so not a great play right there. Does give ReGen Phoenix a path to level 20 before this objective spawns, but it's double bot lane objective with no bell tower here for ReGen Phoenix.
With Arrow staying as long as he has in the top lane, it's possible he was going to try and get that top fort down, but decided to try and make an engagement in the mid lane area instead to prevent Arc from getting this cap here. Mudge is going to get the first interrupt. Ana's in the bot lane, so this is a pretty advantageous team fight for ReGen, even being down their level 20s. Harbor Rim is here now, so they are taking a 4 versus 5, but still up that level 20. And ReGen do pick up that top bell tower, so 3 to 5 core shots exchanged. They're bringing it down to 15 versus 9. And ReGen are going to be able to pick this fort back up, it looks like, without much contest.
Yep, with the Sylve trait, that keep is turned off, so nothing will be countering the impressive siege damage of both the minions and the Tychus minigun. So bottom lane reestablished in a neutral position, and it'll be interesting to see what the kind of double soakers are doing now. Now that level 20's picked up, the double soak isn't quite as important. It does still create lane pressure, but it no longer gets you to an advantageous talent tier.
Oh. Yeah, but getting ganks is always going to be nice. We do have the Gladiator's Medallion coming out, but not enough to save Malthael there. Trying to take this fight as Malthael does return. Static is pretty low, but Arrow is low as well. Huge damage coming out from Orphea, and the Nano Infusion has been keeping her alive for a little bit, but not quite long enough. We've got the last rites coming out to secure the kill out onto Darabo. Mudge is very low, and he's going to be the next to fall. Area is in a bit of a rough spot, gets stunned out. Arrow is trying to swing on keep that health up, but is going to fall as well. Area is still trying to get away from Osmanthus, but it does not look likely.
Nope, that Skullcracker just enough to go ahead and create a stun and create the kill. So a 4 for 2 for Caffeinated Knights, as Malthael did use the no one can stop death during that fight. And they're going to go ahead, pick up the boss, pick up bottom altar, and turn this into 7 to 9 or better, as they could theoretically take one of these forts beforehand, but I think it's just going to be a clean pick of this altar.
Yeah, I think you pick up the bot altar and then pick up both camps as well.
Yeah, that's a in contention for a good thing to do when you're in this kind of position.
Although they're not doing it yet, so it looks like they're going to pick up the camps first and maybe try to get bottom keep before they get the channel. But this is giving time for ReGen to actually make a defense, either onto the keep or onto the objective itself.
Yep.
I don't think they can do that because they still have Sylve in the top lane, but they might be able to keep this keep from going down.
Yep, channel is going to come out from Ghost Dragon, so that's going to be it. Not going to try and get the keep beforehand, but now the keep under severe pressure. 3v5 here in the bottom lane, becoming 4, so nothing can be done to save this bottom keep. And now 3 sappers threaten the bottom lane to go to core, but Sylve, I believe, has trade up, so they have that to stall at least.
Speaking of weird talents I hadn't noticed before, Universal Carrier getting picked up from Stukov is... I don't think I've ever seen that in a competitive match before, and if we get an interview, I'd love to hear all about it. Yeah,
that would be a good thing to hear, because that is definitely an interesting talent, but nonetheless, we do have kind of a stalemated position. Caffeinated Knight's going to go ahead and wait. They do get a Sleep Dart onto Mudge. Anti-Grenade does not come out in time, so that does allow Mudge to get the Soul Shield, and Muradin gets charged into the wall, or into the death wall, and taken out. So now this position dislodged for ReGen Phoenix, and they can come in and take it back once they get some minions here.
And a little bit of extra healing as well, which, you know, that Universal Carrier allows for completely mana-free sustain. Not that Stukov has too much of a problem in the mana consumption area. Mudge is looking for an engage. Isn't going to find it, just barely. Harbor Rim was outside of the engage range, or at least the safe engage range. But we have 2 objectives spawning in the top lane, and a potential of 5 core shots coming out for each channel in favor of ReGen. I didn't even see where that kill was coming from.
No, I think Harbor Rim fell behind the rotation. Now ReGen Phoenix, with the capability of ending this game here, as the top bell tower finally cashes in, for the Zool arc, gets taken down to about 50 health, does make it out. Ghost Dragon deletes Darabo and gets a 3-man stun, but it's too late. 10 shots to the core, and ReGen Phoenix takes game number 1.
Little bit of an unfortunate misstep in the favor of the Knights. We did have Static was looking to get an interrupt coming from the top lane, but just picked too thick of a wall to try and spear through, and just kind of speared in place instead of over the wall. A little unfortunate. I think that they could have made a defense if they were able to get all 4 there in time, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I kind of just missed that because I was expecting the interrupt to come through, but nonetheless, a little bit unfortunate for ReGen Phoenix. For Caffeinated Knights. I don't think it changes anything, but nonetheless, you know, you can never know what could have been.
That's
Orphea,
very true.
Yeah, Orphea doing a lot of damage that game, nearing that 100k mark against the thick old Diablo. Mudge played a little bit of feed to win. Got to feed, got to win. You know, Diablo can be a very hard character to manage into a bunch of CC, which Caffeinated Knights had in abundance. So, pretty solid overall. I do want to see how that build ended. Devastating Charge, Domination, Hellgate. So more standard, but those are some interesting first 3 talents.
There were a lot of interesting talent pickups in this game. Playmaker being one of them. We didn't give, I think, its proper due, and I don't know that Playmaker helped as much as it hurt in some cases. Osmanthus put himself into the death zone a couple of times to try to get those very cool Playmaker kills, but ended up dying themselves in most of those cases, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There are a couple that confirmed kills, like on the bottom lane altar phase, but when your ultimate is kind of hit or miss like that, which is the problem with Haymaker in general, then it's just it's a tough to justify it at times. But nonetheless, it is the choice of Caffeinated Knights of if they want hero pick. I assume they'll go with that hero pick, and as most teams tend to do right now.
Yeah, hero pick is just so strong.
Yeah, definitely good right now. Although I think it's weaker right now. Still great overall, but weaker right now than it has been for like the last, God, I'd say 2 to 3 months since the Cassia rework.
Yeah, I would agree with
that. Since the Cassia rework came through, who's reworked with her? It was with the Skins event.
Oh, I should know this, but I don't.
Rip me. So when Cassia was reworked, she was bad, and then she became overbuffed, and from then on, we've had a first pick meta where there's been a completely busted hero, like, from the start.
And you know what? Yeah. Next week we get Diva.
Oh boy. Things are gonna be first picky for a while.
Yeah, so next week we'll have Diva, and she'll be all the rage for first pick, and then the week after that, she'll get nerfed, but at the same time, Gazlo will get buffed, and then he'll be the guy.
God. Yeah, we've had Chromie be OP, we've had
Orphea be
OP, we've had Diablo, not OP, we've had May was busted.
That's the one.
May is the big one there.
And, yeah, no kidding.
Ektar, if it were to be ReGen Phoenix's map pick, where are we going?
If it were ReGen Phoenix's
You have about 5 seconds.
I mean, I think they should go to Tomb of the Spider Queen, personally.
How about the other one?
Oh, that is close between the two. I wanted them to pick a rotation-heavy map because I felt that was the part of the game they did better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We're going to Infernal Shrines.
Oh, Lulu was right. Also, Tracer was stupid OP
Tracer
for a
was
little
busted.
bit also.
Yeah, so Tracer was OP, and in the patch she got nerfed, Cassia got buffed to OP. And then we got May, and she was OP. And then we got May tuned down, and it was kind of okay for a little while. But
like, you know what? Before that, Deckard was OP for a little bit.
Yeah, And there's just
Although
been so
I
many
still
good...
want to fight that one. I think Decker was actually in a good spot with 10-second Ruby. Even if it
15
promotes
second? 12?
unidimensional gameplay.
12-second Ruby? Can we compensate with level 4 talents? He's got like the 5th lowest win rate in the game. Blizzard! Blizzard! Please help.
Seriously, you took a hero with a 45% win rate, made him have a 50% win rate, and then reverted the buff. What did you think was going to happen? It went back to being bad.
Shocked
All right.
Pikachu.
That is the end of my Deckard Cain is bad, don't pick him rant. We're going to get on to this game number 2, hopefully. Although, Blizzard, when are we going to get another OP healer? Come on now.
That's a good point. When was the last healer to come out? We've had Deathwing, and then before that,
Not
like, as far as heroes are concerned.
Yeah.
We've had Deathwing. We had Kira. Was she the one most recently before that? Oh, Heroes of the Storm. Heroes by release date. I know Google can answer this one.
Sure can. Anduin was the most recent healer.
Wow.
And that was a year and a half ago.
April of 2019. And he hasn't been OP, I don't think.
No, at no point has Anduin been OP. He's gotten buffed a couple of times, and he's still not great.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Whitemane.
Whitemane, yeah.
Who I don't think was ever OP, but they had to change her to give her talent variety because she had one build on release.
Yeah. Yeah, she was it was a little one-sided, but you know what? That is I think she's still kind of in a weird spot, to be real honest.
Yeah, she's definitely one of those heroes that gets picked way more often in Heroic than she gets picked anywhere else.
Yeah.
But if you ban an Ana, there is no healer that provides more burst prevention than Whitemane across a whole team.
Yeah. Yep,
Uther obviously prevents an infinite amount of burst during the Divine Shield, but just for sheer... Let's just give everyone on the team a ton of healing potential. You can't really beat Divine Reckoning.
Yeah, that ult's kind of insane when there's a dive onto one target. If you can press DR and get the Q out in time, or pre-Q and then DR, oh boy, you can bait enemies into anything they want and they'll never get a kill. It's pretty wild. That is a Korean lobby link. I cannot read.
No. Lulu, I love Anduin. I think he's one of the most fun heroes. His you could just use a little bit of help from the Blizzard balance team.
She might have been talking about Deckard though. It might not be.
She said my king. Anduin is like the king in Heroes of the Storm.
Fair enough.
At least ever since his daddy died.
Oh, rip. Oh, unfortunate. Looks like Caffeinated Knights are ready. ReGen Phoenix has dropped the ready. Casters have dropped the ready. We are waiting to get into game 2. Yeah,
and we're going to wait as awkwardly as possible by not saying anything other than to comment on for how long we're waiting.
You know, the start game button was pressed about 30 seconds ago.
I genuinely don't get why there's such a delay between pushing that button and anything actually happening.
I wonder if it, like, actually loads things or just does, like, actually is doing stuff, or it's just validating with the server. I don't know. I'm not going to attempt to explain that one. It's a doozy. So, first pick, Caffeinated Knights. What did you like? What did you dislike? What do you think they need to change, Ektar?
Well, it's a map that plays entirely different because in most cases you don't double soak with one hero on this map. I've seen it once in a while, but it's weird. So normally you double soak with 4 heroes on this team, and one hero just stands in top lane and maybe takes a bruiser camp every now and again. So it's hard to say what they need to do differently as one thing, because what they need to do differently is play an entirely different game style.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. If there was one team to run double soak Zul in the bottom lane, it would be ReGen Phoenix. I've seen it several times lately. It's got, like, moderate popularity, but I wouldn't call it, like, high-tier popularity at this point.
Yeah,
so,
I more often see that on Dragonshire, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of capabilities. Infernal Shrines, definitely a lot of options that you can work with. And a lot of different compositions that can come out. So we'll have to see how Caffeinated Knights tries to adjust and how ReGen Phoenix tries to play the exact same game. Adjustment, no Cho ban this time. They're going to go ahead, ban the same Greymane, and then ban out the Ana. Interesting.
I find it interesting that they ban out Greymane when instead they could just take a Greymane. And there's so much macro and so many camps on this map that I would love to just have a Greymane in most comps.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't fit into their comp, doesn't fit into whatever very well. There's a whole host of reasons why you just get rid of them with a ban. So, not too worried. They are going to go ahead and pick ban away the Stukov. So, Harbor, I'm going to say, area, the Stukov ruined too many of our engages. Let me have that.
I do feel like Ana and Stukov are the two most generic healers. You can kind of fit them into almost any comp and feel happy that you have them. So, picking one and banning the other could be a decent strategy coming out from the side of the Knights.
For sure, for sure. And if I had done a little more of my scouting, or just remembering, using that old gray matter up there, Mudge plays Sonya like all the time on this map, pretty much without fail. So, not a surprise to see that picked up here in the first part, and Anduin also picked up by Area. So, Arrow, traditional tank player for ReGen Phoenix, does swap around with Mudge, with the kind of compositional dependent kind of thing.
Oh yeah, ETC was busted last patch.
Ooh, that is true. He's kind of still busted.
At least he's late game busted. He's not out of the game.
Yeah,
busted.
Always busted. He's just good when you get a mosh pit on a 60-second cooldown, up from 50.
And Johanna, she was first pick or ban material a month ago, but recently really fallen off the radar since that 5-second increase to the D-Shield cooldown.
I mean, when your engaged capability, Johanna's engaged capability is tied to her D key. There is no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. She is not a good hero if you don't have the D key available to be able to go in unimpeded or leave unimpeded. And so, basically changing her tempo where the team has to play 20% or 25% slower, it's like slashes the hero in half. She still has the second best wave clear for tanks. Maybe even the best, depending on where Stitches lies, but then you're taking Stitches.
In a gutter is where Stitches lies, unfortunately.
Absolutely correct there. Tank Choke is coming out, actually, here. 3 tanks banned out for ReGen Phoenix, and I think out of the premier tanks, Murden is not one of them, but that's the one that's going to be picked up here.
And Mecha Tassadar, which I love to see. He has fallen off a little bit. He got, one teeny nerf and one somewhat serious nerf in the last patch, notably to Archon, reducing the shield value that you get from it. That's not a thing. That can't be a thing.
Yeah, hold up. Literally can't pick Diva. This is ! bans in the chat. Please. Yeah.
Probably bans, Rabid Penguin is like, what do I do right now?
Globally banned until September 21st. You have scheduled your match 1 day early. So this draft will have to be recreated. My bad. Arrow drops the Diva is banned, and Darabo goes, banned? So, yeah. Alright, well, we're going to redraft that. I do have a screenshot if the teams need it, but I believe they are competent teams that can redraft themselves properly. Head mod coming in and saying that the Gem Rainer is a valid pick, so it must be taken. Very good. So, I was actually curious about that, so good call there, Ektar.
I don't think it's explicitly called out in the rules, so I'm making an executive decision right now.
Makes a lot of sense. Arrow went for the hard Alt F4 Didn't
Yeah,
even just
he
leave
did.
the lobby. He just Alt F4'd right out of this thing. That's pretty
You
great.
do still have us on the draft screen, so they can, in fact, see all this chat. I don't
Yeah.
know if that is your desire or not, but
It is already moved over.
excellent. We'll see that updated in some amount of time.
20 seconds. -30 from when you're hearing. So. Redraft will occur. So let's take a look. It's 9:21 in some time zones, but importantly, it's not 9:21 in the Pacific time zone where NGS resides.
It's true. All dates and times given by NGS are in Pacific time.
Yep. It would be September 21st. Actually, nowhere, because nobody uses 9/21 as a date format other than that's also on September 21st. So it is actually 9/21 nowhere.
Ooh.
Oh, got him. Got him. But it is September 21st. 2 time zones east of Britain. So what is that?
We've got Recyclic here. He's not in for game 2, but he is in the chat.
Oh, shout out to Psychic.
Lulu and Ms. Windupbird, you'll have to make do.
Yep.
So Ace, are you ready for the classic let's just fill time because we know it's about to happen?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about, Ektar? What can we podcast out for the next 45 seconds?
I just started a new Pathfinder 2 campaign.
Yeah.
We had our second session tonight.
Okay.
And we are 0 for 2 of one of our players showing up. So I
Very
don't
cool.
know if that is going to continue on in the future. She may just get the boot because she didn't even say anything about not showing up either time.
Womp womp.
Not a huge fan of the lack of communication.
That is an important aspect in basically everything is the good old communication. So how is Pathfinder 2 though? Is it baited or is it released for real?
It has been released for real for I don't know, 6 or 8 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, big fan. It does something that I like a lot, which is it lets you get to your character concept sooner.
Oh, I love that.
In Pathfinder 1, you could make any character eventually, but if you wanted to make, a witch who deals with frost things, you can do that much earlier in this game than you can in Pathfinder. That's a terrible example, actually, because that's super doable in Pathfinder 1, but you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I totally get it, because I've created characters in, like, D&D 5e, where, you're like, oh, I want to make this character, but the key ability that makes it work is a level 16 something or another once you get X spell slot or X ability or feature. And I'm just like, cool, I guess.
Yeah. And where we had ended up in today's session was a person had been killed, and all signs were pointing to it having been committed by a druid, of which the only known one is a player character. So that's going to have to get resolved.
Yep. And yes,
we have the Urel getting picked up now that we're no longer just killing time.
Yep. And I definitely didn't have the draft up for the whole time because it was very obvious, but also because I forgot. So
awesome.
We did get in time just for the Urel pick, so it's just one continuous draft.
I have mixed feelings on Urel. She's sometimes just this incredible, annoying bouncy ball of death and knockback, and sometimes she's just the complete most ineffectual hero on the battlefield. Given that we're casting an A division match, I'm inclined to believe it's more the former than the latter, and I'm excited to see it. And I love a Kerrigan on this map.
Yeah, they've got the fastest shrine clear in the world with Sonya Kerrigan. In fact, they can rotate either of them up and clear in optimal time because there's a minimum time that you have to take to clear a shrine because it only spawns 10 minions every couple of seconds. So, yeah, I think it's they've got a lot of possibilities, and I know Rabid Penguin from previous seasons is an experienced Kerrigan player, so I think ReGen Phoenix basically got everything they want in that draft.
Yeah, I would personally want a better healer than Anduin, but I mean, the two best were picked and banned away, and you know Anduin's not too bad. And you know what? We could have like a Leap Light Bomb combo, and I'm on board.
Oh, I like what you're talking about. And team with the capability of pulling off that combo is ReGen Phoenix here on the left side of the map in the blue trunks. We've got Rabid Penguin playing the Kerrigan, the Queen of Ghosts. Mudge playing the Muradin. Darabo playing the Jet there of Atacidar. Arrow playing Sonya. Wait a minute, what? I thought, oh my gosh, an Area playing the Anduin. Is that the Terran Anduin?
It is not the Terran Anduin. I don't think. On the right-hand side in the red trunks, we have Harborin playing the Admiral Krakenov. Ark is playing the Harlequin Yrel. Ghost Dragon is playing basic AF Orphea. Osmanthus is playing the Johanna, and we have Static playing Jim Raynor. We have a bit of a well cheese coming out in the bot lane, and it is going to be successful because their opponents had not even a little bit sniffed it out before it happened.
Blizzard, I don't know. Maybe I'm boomer here. Maybe I'm just not using all my advantages, but I hate well ganks. I do too. Maybe I'm a little boomer for that. But it feels like with just a little bit of map change, like you can just do that. Maybe you're making too many choke points on the northern side of the map and of the fort, but like I don't know, I feel like there's just so many ways to change that without impacting the game that much.
I would like it so that at least the melee heroes would have to be, like, taking some towers.
Yeah. Yeah, or something, or just... Yeah. There's lots of things about that, but that is neither here nor there, although we could have plenty of discussions for a while as both teams are just doing the normal thing, rotating down, up, and then taking a camp as the good wave clear hero goes ahead and takes the bottom. Let's check out
because we're mentioning Anduin already, I already had his hero's profile up. Renew, not the talent, generally speaking. It's basically always been bold strategy and continues to be so at this point. So it's a little bit surprising to see that getting picked up here, even if it is about 30% popularity. It still has, at the high ranks, about a 9% drop-off in effectiveness, so I don't love to see it.
Yeah, I think the math behind it is that you're self-rooting yourself, like, I think it's nearly 20% of the time. Forget it if you're casting Q on cooldown, if you don't have the bold strategy or the other talent that I genuinely couldn't tell you the name of. So
Pursued by Grace.
Pursued by Grace, thank you. So...
I think.
Yeah, ready. Ooh, Darabo got caught in rotation up to the mid lane. Great job by Caffeinated Knights, feigning the rotation, normal rotation, then just hiding in the bush and ganking out Darabo. So, yeah, first blood over to the Caffeinated Knights again this game, starting strong with a more than a half-level lead here before the 3-minute mark.
It is slightly less than 20% of the time because it's a 4-second cooldown and a 0.75-second cast, so it's 18 and change percent of the time that you spend self-rooting when you do not pick up bold strategy.
Yeah, that's still a lot for Heroes of the Storm. 16% according to Quack Thing, if my math is correct. So, yep, first objective comes up in the bottom lane. Look at Orphea just chomping away. ReGen Phoenix is going to try and engage, but they're already down 14 Shrine Monkeys, and it's going to be pretty good. But they dive onto Static in the backline. Does take us a hammer from Mudge, but he's going to be forced out of this fight. ReGen Phoenix has to make something happen very quickly, but I don't think they're going to get it, Ektar.
They certainly are going to try to kill over, and second one as well, so things are definitely going over in favor of the Knights this early phase of the game, as they pick up a third kill out onto the Rabid Penguin as well. Definitely not finding the engage they were looking to in the start of that fight.
No, I think that comes down to the fact that they just had to fight faster than they wanted to because the Orphea just chomped away all the skeletal minions, and it was already 20 before anybody had even showed up. Very common thing here on Infernal Shrines is just having to force a fight too late and losing it.
Ooh, big jump coming out onto Mudge. Just barely too slow on the Lurking Arm is going to allow Mudge to get on out of there. Checking out the level 1 through 7 tails we've got so far, going into the Biotic Armor I think is a bit of a surprise considering the comp that has been forming for the side of ReGen. They don't have the most auto attack in the world. In fact, they don't have all that much auto attack at all. Like Sonya kind of, but a lot of her damage is slam. Kerrigan has auto attacks, sure, but a lot of her damage is coming from the Impalant abilities as well. So I find that one a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I think she's very Ravage heavy if I remember correctly, but I'm not familiar with Kerrigan enough. I don't see her enough in games, and I don't play her. So there's your scouting information for today.
I did just notice, and I feel the need to point out, we have Righteous Momentum picked up on level 7 for Urel. This is the talent that makes it so she just runs around speedy with a hammer all game, and it's so funny to look at.
Oh, she's mounted right now. Rip.
Why ever be mounted? You have a hammer.
Because it's 130 versus 120. Our Arrow actually going in for an engage. But they're funneling hard through this choke point. Mudge takes 1 trillion damage and lives with about 130 health. May make it out. Kerrigan using the peeling and paling spikes, but she's going to be taken down in response. Arrow going to be taken down. Spear minion. Got him. And that's 2 more kills over 4 Caffeinated Knights. It did cost them their Blessed Shield, but that is A-okay as they're up 2 levels early and looking strong.
Ghost Dragon does find that kill onto Tassadar. I don't know what initially caused them to stop, but it was a questionable decision, shall we say. Bottom fort is gone down already, and we've already got Matt Horner bringing the damage into the mid fort as well. Just all the momentum in favor of the Caffeinated Knights. 17-0 in kills and up about 2.5 levels with heroics.
Yeah, I think what killed Caffeinated Knights' momentum last game was the fact that their solo laner got ganked several times in mid lane. I mean, it was like every 2 minutes for like 3 or 4 times. Oh my gosh, here's a big rotation. Blessed Shield available in 5 seconds, so we'll have to see if that gets used on Rabid Penguin. Osmanthus trying to push the way forward, does get the Blessed Shield. That's going to be a kill. Mudge going to leap away. That is another kill for the Caffeinated Knights, forcing ReGen Phoenix to take even more defensive positions.
We had mentioned before the game even started, it's not too common to see double soaking in the mid bot, but you do see double soak coming out top bottom every now and then as your 4-man is doing other non-soaking things, like killing a Kerrigan, and Arc filling that role admirably.
Yep, Urel able to rotate down, doesn't clear waves all the fastest, especially compared to Sonya. I would put, like, if you rank the soul laners that can double soak, Urel's like in the B tier, like where the S tier is the 3 Leo, Malthael, Zool, and the A tier includes like Sonya. I think Urel's like in the B tier of double soakers, but still getting the job done.
Yeah, although we do have 5 people already up here for the side of ReGen, they are very soon going to be down level 13, but at the moment, they're even talents here and they're 5 versus 4, so they're going to get the initial damage out into these Shrine Minions, going to get about 15 or so before they're able to get a 5 versus 5 fight. However, that 13 is coming in just a moment. Mudge is already kind of low, and he's looking for an engagement.
Yeah, Mudge is all on an island by himself, though. He's going to be CC'd down. The Avatar does come out, try and make this work. Rabid Penguin goes in with the Kerrigan Ravage Light Bomb combo, but Johanna takes a big condemn and punish, deal a lot of damage. Darabo dealing a bunch of damage on this Tassadar, though, getting a lot of kills. 3 members of ReGen Phoenix down, 3 members of the Caffeinated Knights down, and again, another scrappy fight, ending 4-3 for the Caffeinated Knights, and they're going to have full control over this this objective.
You know, if that wasn't a fight over the objective, that goes so much better for the side of ReGen, but as it were, like, they traded pretty much evenly in kills, but losing the objective 2 is a pretty rough spot for them to be in, and I love this play from Static, doing the non-Shrine Minion damage so that they can push it out just a little bit harder.
Yep. You know, I have to give it to ReGen, though. That was a pretty good fight, considering they're down 3 levels. I mean, it was 10 to 13 in there.
Yeah,
Maybe bordering on 11.
solidly, they made that fight way more even than I was expecting.
And once you're down that many levels, I mean, you can see the XP, they gained a full level from that fight. So even though they lost it, and lost the objective, which they're basically going to do anyway, they pulled themselves closer, and I can't really argue that. So, not bad. I'll give it a not bad.
You see, this play I don't like as much coming out from Caffeinated Knights. I would much rather them be pressuring the wall than stealing this Bruiser camp. Because by the time they get there, this guy is going to almost be dead. John Cena probably doesn't even jump again. So now they have no real ability to push in and try to damage this keep anymore. They'll get the front wall, but they were going to get that anyway.
Yeah. And Sonya was seen in the bottom lane, I believe, for the whole time. So I think they could have gotten more aggressive. But nonetheless, when you're ahead, you know, get more ahead is also a thing. But also don't give your opponent, you know, free XP. And
That's
don't
true,
give
and
them
they
way
are
back
taking
into it.
their opponent's camps away.
Yeah.
Ooh, Osmanthus does spot Arrow hiding out in this bush here, so they're gonna know about the potential leap engage. And it looks like the Caffeinated Knights don't even want to take this fight while they're not up a talent tier.
Yep, and no real reason to. It's over essentially nothing. I mean, it's a siege camp, not a big deal. Ooh, big root combo out onto Arrow as he was spotted out, and that sparked a fight. Lots of damage done, and Jim Raynor gets absolutely deleted. Sonya spinning to win with a light bomb on top of it. Rabid Penguin down to about 1 HP. That level 13 Chrysalis so picks up, and the fight they didn't want is the fight they took. ReGen Phoenix coming back in this mid-game and winning a fight on even talent tiers with a 2-player advantage.
So as much as I love Virulent Reaction and its incredibly powerful talent and ability, using it means you don't have a big heal. Barring picking up the level 4 and getting the reset with the W on one target,
That's
it
7.
means that you... Is that a 7?
Yeah, it's 7.
No, targeted excision,
Target
yeah, you're right.
excision.
And that means that you don't have a big heal available, so when the opponents took your engage as an attempt to reverse engage, Stukov popped his ult, but that was the only thing he had available, and it was not enough to save Johanna there.
So is there a viable build with Stukov where you go targeted excision and virulent reaction to make both happen? Seems
Oh
kind
yeah,
of spicy.
absolutely.
Seems kind of spicy. So
It is, but growing infestation just is
good.
so strong.
It's
It's
so good.
just a ginormous area.
Of no, your opponents can't do anything. Yeah, absolutely agree. But look at this now, Ektar. There's a 1 level difference between these two teams now. We saw the 3 level difference before the top objective, 2 level difference afterwards, and now with the scuffle down here in the bottom lane, now it's a 1 level difference. And ReGen
importantly,
Phoenix is, yeah, same talent.
ReGen Phoenix are going to have 16 before this objective fully comes up.
Yep, they are going to be pressured in the top lane by this Bruiser camp, but honestly, as ReGen Phoenix, you're just happy to be fighting on the same talent tier for the first time in a while, so...
And if you're Caffeinated Knights, I think you got to be worried because you've been losing or going even on talent tier advantageous fight. Well, to be fair, the last one wasn't a talent tier advantage. But they've, just been kind of losing fights. Mudge actually gets put into a really awful spot. Pops the Avatar, pops the Stone Shield, and tries to whoop his way out, but is going to get caught, and that is a great position for the Caffeinated Knights to go into this objective.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed now. ReGen Phoenix is just going to have to cede control of this point almost entirely. And yeah, I mean, that's an objective that ReGen Phoenix really wanted to fight over, and the wind has been taken out of the sails right now. They're just going to soak out the top lane, try and grab as much XP as they can before this Punisher pops, but that is really a painful blow for ReGen Phoenix there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nope. That was a trinket.
That was a ding from Osmanthus. We will, by the way, we will call them medallions, trinkets, and dings, because we haven't settled on a name for them here. So
yeah,
they're all of them.
Or potentially buttons as well.
Yes, they're a button. There are several buttons, but this is one of them.
It sure is. We do have the Stormbolt coming out hitting, and that is going to be what pulls the objective. Using the button to actually bait the Punisher jumps is, I think, actually going to be a popular thing going forward on this map. It is going to be a very fast keep falling. We have an attempted engage coming out from Arc, but does push Mudge back, but he did save the door toss. He's able to hop on out of there. No kills going over in favor of either team quite yet. John Cena still at half health.
Yep, and it is a full 5v5 at this point. Jump cooldown is nearing availability. I kind of would like to see Caffeinated Knights stick around for the jump cooldown, see if they can combo off of it, but that's...
Yeah, they've got a Blessed Shield and a Crushing Jaws, so they definitely could have tried to find something.
Yeah, but
instead they're just going to take their opponent's camp again.
You know what?
And
as
long as they don't take another even fight that they then lose, I think that's fine.
Yep, well...
But it looks like Mudge wants to force an even fight.
Yeah, that is exactly what Mudge wants to do. He wants to make a fight happen. Light Bomb goes out, Leap goes out, Engage is not being fouled by ReGen Phoenix, and they're in a world of trouble. All retreat symbols are a go. Mudge pops the Avatar just in time and does get the Leap of Faith from the Anduin. Arc, though, just causing problems in the backline, knocking Tassadar forward, going to have to take Archon form to live, but instead they do not. 3 kills on the side of Caffeinated Knights, and they're going to walk this straight to core.
Call Arc a Swedish death metal band because he's just causing mayhem in the backline for the members of ReGen as they are in full retreat, and I don't think that with 30-second death timers that there's really anything they're going to be able to try and do here with just an Anduin and a Muradin as the core is starting to fall, and it won't stop falling.
Nope, Matt Horner even getting in on the action here, and there is no DPS available here. Last kill goes on to Anduin, and the core goes down. Game 2 in favor of Caffeinated Knights.
Speaking of which, I ran out of caffeine at some point during the first game, and that makes me sad.
Well, there is a break between games 2 and game 3.
And you know what? It's only 7:30, and I don't have a class until 10 tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and recaffeinate myself as well.
That sounds wonderful. We'll take a quick break.
Do we want to talk about any of the post-screen numbers now that I remembered to leave the screen open this time?
No, I think everything's as you'd expect. Let's go get a break real quick. I'll leave it up for the viewers to look at and create commentary for themselves.
Sounds good. We'll be back in just a moment.
All right, we are back. Team's not quite ready for us to join, but ReGen Phoenix has informed me that they have opted for first pick, so slap all those Ektar shocks in the chat, because it's just shocking that a team would opt for first pick in this meta. Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's really not a surprise at all. Also, I think you're probably my only subscriber, so we're the only ones that can drop that X-Tar shock unless they've got a couple of channel points laying around.
I can't. It's a tier 2. You can't get tier 2 stuff.
Oh my god, you're right.
Rip
I changed
everything.
it to just have the more broadly applicable Ektar love being the Wooloo.
Yeah, which is still a very fantastic emote, which you can get at twitch.tv/Ektar/subscribe.
Just hang out there for a couple of minutes, get the channel points, and unlock it that way.
Yeah.
Don't give me your money.
Don't give me your money, Ektar 2020. This will never come back to haunt you.
I'm okay with that. I mean, if I someday open a business or something like that, please give me your money. But like, I don't do enough commentary or streaming for anyone to actually like pay for my emotes. You kidding me?
That's what I would think as well.
Hell, if you send me a message on Discord, I'll send you the images if you wanted to use them elsewhere.
Dedication to the cause. You know, I have a button for fixing when teams swap sides, but I appreciate when they do it for me.
Yeah, so nice. And it just feels better as the commentator because you know that, you know, left side has been the same team for 2 games in a row, and you just having to make that mental shift to put them on the other side and the other colors. Just
Nate dropping it. I was about to sub, but I guess not. Almost debated. Well done, Nate. Wouldn't want you to support anybody.
Going off that last sentence, I was actually just thinking during the break, why are we casters and why are people that do match commentary for other games commentators?
Don't worry about it. We could be commentators. We're commentators as well. I don't know where casting came from.
I know that it's for shoutcasting.
Yeah, that is true.
But I don't know why some communities use the one term over the other.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Ooh, that was a little loud. A little spicy on that one. I've been watching my audio levels because I haven't balanced them out in a while, so at least for heroes, so. Alright, we're going to game 3. It is on, I didn't update it because we just got in the lobby not long ago. It's on Cursed Hollow. And that was the choice of Caffeinated Knights, so different from our first 2 maps. Not a big surprise there.
That this is the map choice?
That they would pick something different? I don't know, maybe they didn't do poorly.
No, I thought they did actually really well on Infernal Shrines, and if I'm not mistaken, Tomb's not banned.
Tomb is not banned.
If I were coaching Caffeinated Knights, that would have been my recommendation. However, now I have to think about why they would go to Cursed Hollow, and either they're comfortable in their solo lane matchup, they're especially with their necessity of having a second solo laner or at least solo lane capable hero, or they're just more confident in their team fighting. And I don't know, given the way that the 2 games have gone, the team fights have gone back and forth, I wouldn't confidently say either team has a solid advantage in that regard.
Yeah, you know, I tend to agree with that. I think a lot of ReGen Phoenix has had maybe the slightest bit more capability in team fights, winning if they can get a clean execution off on them, which is kind of an unfair thing to say, I guess. But when they haven't forced themselves into a position that doesn't work, or they haven't, like, have to take it a talent tier down, I feel like they've been pretty good, but True Math may disagree with me. Not enough shouting 0 out of 10. Oof.
There's only one thing that I will shout while casting a video game, and it doesn't apply to this video game, so sorry to disappoint. Got the Orphea band coming out, and you know, I like it a lot because Orphea was really impactful in both games so far.
Yes.
And I don't want to suggest that Ghost Dragon can't bring that effectiveness to anyone else, but now they're forcing him to do it.
Yeah, you know, as a person who has to pick a lot of our bands that we do, I like to run under the mentality, especially for regular season games, that if they're gonna beat us, don't let them beat us the exact same way twice. Make it something different.
Agree.
Like, even if you get rolled the second game, it doesn't matter. At least you didn't do the same thing and just get rolled over twice. If nothing else, you get more scouting information, you get more capability to try and do something else. So that's my mentality, and I like that ReGen Phoenix has applied that as well.
See, I don't like this. Don't get me wrong, I love a Jim Raynor pick. I like him early, and I love him on this map. I don't like Darabo picking Jim Raynor here, especially because he is the wild card player for them. Picking, well, it could in theory work both ways. They could just pick a wild Darabo pick later and then swap him off. So maybe this is like 400 IQ strat. But putting Darabo onto Jim Raynor early maybe says to their opponents that they're not going to do anything weird, and I think you want to leave open weird as a possibility.
I can't wait for one team in NGS or anywhere to draft everybody off their role and then everybody swap at the last minute. And it doesn't even matter. They just go, they're like, we want ETC, and just somebody picks ETC. And then they swap it in at the end. Like, they know who's going to do it, but it's just so they can't read all of that. That seems a lot of effort.
It does, but it's really going to mess up the stats that we get every week from, I think Key does those?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're never going to be winning in stats. A Brightwing band, that's interesting.
Do I hear a Viking somewhere? Like, is this what's going to happen here?
I could see either team going for Vikings still. It's a little bit less likely for the side of ReGen just because they've already got Raynor and Sylvanas with Diablo, so they need to pick up a healer and also Vikings, which leaves them pretty diveable because Diablo doesn't stop engages. Sylvanas and Jim Raynor kind of just get engaged upon. But with only Johanna and Stukov getting picked up, I think it's very possible if they wanted to, they could go into Vikings. Maybe it's just a global ban. Maybe they want to go for something really aggressive like an Illidan or something really that just goes forward and has no way to back itself up. Falstad getting banned out is interesting as well.
Oh.
I still think if either team is going to take Vikings, it's going to be the Caffeinated Knights based on draft, based on team personality. I think it would be ReGen.
Yeah.
But I don't know the Knights very well, so maybe they do have a Pocket Vikings pick, and please do it. I want it so bad.
Yep, but ReGen Phoenix has a good draft against it. Sylvanas, one of the best anti-Viking heroes because you just kind of push it down. Rhaegar, really good at pushing it down. Thrall, good at offlane. Raynor, good at offlane. So you could punish it pretty hard, and well, you know, we keep talking about it. They do have a pretty solid win rate right now.
They do.
Just overall.
I have seen them getting banned out in like heroic and storm div matches in the first round.
Yeah, and the in-houses as well.
Yep.
So
I don't think we'll see it, but I would love to see it.
No, we're not. No. Zool. Darn.
And you know what? As much as I would love to see it, I'm glad they didn't pick it because I don't think it's good against what ReGen Phoenix have. Like, just look at the comp that they have. They just pick a lane and they kill it to death, and there's really nothing that a team with Vikings can do about it.
Yeah, and Jaina can't even defend against it very well because their cooldowns are so long on anything that punishes stepping up. So I know it wasn't optimal, but I still kind of wanted to see it.
Oh, for sure.
So I think we'll just see the one offlaner Zool, but if they don't double soak with Zool, who's going to be that half soul laner otherwise? Because Jaina, a little vulnerable.
I think it's Hanzo because he's slightly less vulnerable, if only because he's got more range.
Yeah,
but man, does he not clear a lane by himself before 4.
Yeah. And
on the other side, you've got Thrall and either Sylvanas or Raynor, probably Raynor because he's got better survivability. But I definitely like the lane arrangement possibilities better for the side of ReGen Phoenix.
Yep. Yep. And enjoying a better lane arrangement possibility is ReGen Phoenix here on the left side of the map in the blue trunks. We've got Arya playing the Rhaegar Darabo on the Jim Raynor, Rabid Penguin on Sylvanas, preparing a cheese in the top lane, Arrow on the Thrall, and Mudge on the Dibbles.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks there, the Caffeinated Knights with Ark playing Zool in the bottom lane, Osmanthus playing Johanna, Harborim playing Stukov once again, Static is on Jaina, and in the top lane we have Ghost Dragon on Hanzo. There is a Sylve Cheese being prepared in the top lane. This is admittedly why you're in the mid lane for the most part as 5 heroes, so you can rotate to defend against things like this. Ghost Dragon is going to immediately sniff it out. So there is a 3-person rotation up, and Zool is in the bottom lane. Looks like he's going to maybe try to double soak mid-bot while this is happening, and that is the first tower of the game going down almost immediately.
Look at that XP differential. Huge.
It's minuscule.
It was 1 minion. Zool cleaned 1 minion, and the tower XP was covered. That's
yeah,
great.
And he already got the mid soak, so they're not going to miss that. He's going to rotate down to bottom lane, not even going to miss a minion. Which I don't think will be able to be said for ReGen, but very, very small advantages going over in favor of ReGen Phoenix.
Yep, if nothing else, Arrow against Ghost Dragon is going to push the lane a little bit harder with only 1 tower to defend. The minions, they are going to stay alive a significant amount longer, so they're going to be able to maybe create some push given Hanzo's weak wave clear early. And we do have Q build from Hanzo, not the more popular scatter build, or especially on this map, so somebody at Gunny.
Yep. Continuing on with the level 1 talent investigation, we've got Rolling Thunder from Thrall, so the ability to occasionally get that 3% max hero healing and damage, but definitely less common, I think, than Echo of the Elements, and especially because you will not need it to sustain against a Hanzo.
Yeah, factual statements right there. Berserkamp picked up a tiny bit earlier for ReGen Phoenix. It does allow Caffeinated Knights to get an easier clear of the wave, so that's good for the Caffeinated Knights. And there's a little bit of a gank going down on Ark, which is something we've said all series, and it is going to work out for them. So first blood for the first time, going over for ReGen Phoenix.
So we mentioned the lane arrangement before. It's interesting that they decided to keep Mudge in the bot lane as the mostly solo laner. Arya did come down for that gank, but is going to rotate out now. Osmanthus is going to meet in the bot lane, so it's just going to be a tank off in the bottom lane as their more regular solo laners, I guess, are in the top lane. Nope, still going to be Hanzo and Zool rotating back to bottom.
Yep, it's a little who's who of where their lane is until that explosive arrow comes up at level 4. He does have range? Is it? No, that's one player finished.
It's one player.
One player finished. We'll have to keep an eye on the Hanzo quest. So it doesn't even give me the good view. Can I get the good view if I go to his player cam? Yes, it does. So we can keep an eye on that later.
Yeah, he's got 3 hits onto Thrall and 0 hits onto anybody else.
Shocking, giving the lane arrangement. But look at this. ReGen Phoenix going to take this tribute phase, just burn it away, and use the time to 4-push bottom with Rabid Penguin's Sylve trait. And they're going to take the full wall down here, and this is the power of Sylvanas. She's a good DPS, but you can also just kind of split away whenever you want and go take some buildings. And
yeah.
If you play that well.
Exterminator Jim Raynor giving you that extra 50% damage onto all non-heroes.
Nope, not buildings. Not buildings.
Oh, is it not to buildings? You're correct.
No. That is why he's not completely busted. That would be insane.
We do have second tribute coming up in another pretty good spot if you are a ReGen Knights fan, because it is on the defensible side for them as well as where their vision's located. Thrall has not left top lane, so it'll be a slightly advantageous arrangement while Hanzo gets down here, as level 7s are available for both teams.
Now, I usually don't point out, like, just name mix-ups and everything, because it happens literally all the time. You did say the ReGen Knights, which is a nice portmanteau of both teams here. So, a little tough. Mudge goes in to get the interrupt, but takes about half his health as punishment. So, we will see this fight develop as ReGen takes position.
Can we get a ReGen Knights team for Season 11? We got Murda in chat. Can we make that happen?
Sounds good. Just absorb everybody until we have ReGen GS like we proposed 6 seasons ago, and you know, people are raging about. Ooh, bunch of damage put out onto Johanna. Mudge, though, going to be counter-killed. Arc swinging through, getting a bunch of kills. Nice scatter from Ghost Dragon. Gets the kill, but Arrow's going in on a low health Harborin. And how many 3-for-3 fights have we seen in this set, Ektar? 3 3-for-3 fights, but Arrow might go down here. Ice Flows goes ahead and gets the cooldown reduction. Area gets the 4-for-3. Is it going to be 4-4? Static can 2v1 this. He's got about
easily
4 times as much health as everybody combined.
Yeah, and with Johanna coming back, it might actually be that they finally get the channel on this objective. They sure do.
Whew, that was spicy. 4-for-4 trade, but because of the positioning for the objective and the fact that Johanna went down first, Caffeinated Knights are able to pick it up. And because Jaina had more health. That also matters.
Ace, I'm gonna spit a concept at you real fast.
All right, spit me a concept.
Re-Phoenix Generations.
Re-Phoenix?
The combination of Phoenix Rising everything and ReGen everything else.
All right, say it one more time as we watch Harborin get ganked way behind their own wall. What a gutsy play there.
Big Bless Shield, and a huge European arrow is going to come in and get the 2 counter kills. Sunder for the peeling attempt is not going to be sufficient as they find a 3rd kill out onto Jim Raynor.
Wow, what a gigantic hit. Just a tiny bit of an overextension for ReGen Phoenix. And
this is a boss snap, yeah?
Yeah, this has to be.
Come on, you guys.
They can clear boss and take it, but this is boss during curse. You have to do it.
Oh, they so do. They just keep Hanzo in position to poke it out if anyone tries to cap it, and they go for their own boss, but they don't do it.
Oh, I think that, like, I am no macro god, except when it comes to Zerg in 2013 and StarCraft 2. But, man, that feels like a missed opportunity there.
They're definitely going for the very safe play, as we have a Diablo roll to the Apocalypse coming out as just an interrupt that was a little unnecessary. Although they now have the bigger health bars, and with that Bloodlust, they're going to really run down the members of the Caffeinated Knights. Osmanthus is not going to escape the wrath of Rabbit Peg. Oh, that D comes off cooldown in time. Jaina does fall in the backline, however. But that is going to be the objective in favor of... oh, that's unfortunate. A little bit of a body block is not going to get the kill. We get another kill now onto Johanna, and that is going to be objective eventually in favor of ReGen Phoenix. But imagine if there was a boss in the top lane. They might have lost the objective channel, but they would have a boss.
I don't think you can call it a tiny overextend when you're on their keep wall. I mean, they invaded the Bruisers, which wasn't a terrible spot to be in. But then they overextended the keep wall. You're probably right. But look, we try and keep things as, you know, qualifier as much as we can here for the caster. It keeps us safe. And they can just call it sarcasm. That's the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Both teams picking up their Berserk camps at similar enough times that there shouldn't be a significant advantage to either. Neither team having a hero or building advantage. Ark is getting a little bit of an engagement, but not going to die from this gank attempt. Hanzo's clearing out top, which will put additional pressure there, but it means he's not in the bottom or mid lanes yet, which is a little bit risky considering the objective spawns in 1 second.
Yeah, I think this is just full give here for Caffeinated Knights. And seeing that, let's
ripping their own boss.
Yep, let's get some vision here for Caffeinated Knights. They haven't seen the boss play yet, and all of a sudden nobody's at the objective and boss goes down. It's time for some mayhem. Arrow comes out, hits 3 with the Dukov arm underneath, creates 3 immediate kills. Apoc comes out, but it is not enough. Darbo going to 1v5 on point. Give up.
So we wanted a boss during a tribute, right? Because they're just taking it 1 tribute late.
Yeah, that's fine. It's exactly what we said the whole time. I'm glad that the Caffeinated Knights have more IQ than we do, because we're not the ones playing this one.
We sure aren't.
Yeah, full curse picked up for Caffeinated Knights. Boss in the bottom lane. And I saw a game end in these positions earlier, Ektar. So, that we saw a couple days ago on the highlights channel. And this could be another one. ReGen has to play this well.
Yeah, and they definitely need to get their Sylvanas down here. This needs to be a 5-person defense if they want to even try not to lose this keep. Boss is still completely healthy. I don't even know if they can stop keep from going down. They are down heroics for still a little bit of time left. Arrow is getting chased down by Arc, who is deep in enemy lines, but when the opponent's a curse, what does it matter? Mudge goes in for an engagement, but is never going to come back out. He's down for another 30 seconds, and it really looks like the Caffeinated Knights want to find some additional damage here. That huge combo is going to find another kill out into Thrall, and they might not be able to survive all of this damage that they've taken here.
Yep, the ReGen Knights, Caffeinated Knights, taking a 3rd kill up here. Area going to barely save. They'll take 3 and 4 with a freaking Hanzo arrow hitting both DPSs, and that's going to end this game, Ektar. A little prophetic, but it does work. Harborim, okay, dies to the core defenses, but with a boss still at 50% health, this game is over. Core goes down, Hanzo goes down, but Caffeinated Knights take this series 2-1.
I don't know how many shots of espresso the Caffeinated Knights just had, but they just turned up in that last game. They went from an even match to, no, this is our game and there's literally nothing you can do about it, very quickly.
Yeah, so the 400 IQ play was not taking boss, losing the tribute so you could win next time with it after the team wipe. Big brain plays right there. Wow. What a... Tell you, that's a dangerous, dangerous spot to be down a boss, a curse, and a talent tier all at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to stymie that much momentum. Like, 3 things in your opponent's favor. And I don't think that ReGen Phoenix made any wrong decisions other than that they got killed to death. Like, there's small things that you could point out for maybe how they could have taken that fight slightly differently, but I think they were making the right moves. It's just their opponents just decided to pop their trinkets and become unstoppable for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, that is exactly the case.
I will say there were a couple of times where people mistimed their trinkets against the Zool root specifically, and so they popped the unstoppable, but by the time the root actually came out, the unstoppable had worn off and they became rooted anyway. I think that caused a kill out onto Arya.
Yep. Yeah, they're the people.
That's
it's taking. It's going to take a while for the trinket usage to get really practiced by a lot of these players, especially the ones that aren't healer players. Coughs at me, so yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. All right, Ektar, if you want to pop into lobby 1, we'll go ahead and get an interview with the Caffeinated Knights.
Me into playing Johanna. That's all that happened there.
Hello.
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 And congratulations on your 2-1 victory.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Wait.
If it were good morning, then that diva pick would have been allowed.
Got him. Got
Ouch.
him.
Ouch.
Absolutely roasted. So welcome to your roasting session of an interview with Ektar.
Oh boy.
That's okay. Sometimes we deserve it.
Everyone needs it a little bit of roasting every once in a while, especially for a team that named themselves after caffeine. Come on now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of roasting, let's jump real quick while it's fresh on your minds. That game 3 turned from even to over real quick. That was really well done. What was that whole ending segment like there, from tribute to boss to whatever?
It was... Wait. They're taking boss. We have our 3rd tribute. What? Why? Like, seriously, the stars aligned perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a greedy play from ReGen Phoenix for sure. Try and rip the boss right there. They've got the comp for it, but maybe if they committed Bloodlust, I don't know if they did.
I mean, if they commit Bloodlust, we wouldn't have been there in time, but if they did, we win the team fight and we get the tribute. So...
Because during the previous team fight that you won in the top lane, Ace and I were saying you guys should have immediately ripped boss and then tried to get the tribute off of that, that would give you boss and tribute in the top lane.
Yeah.
But the 500 IQ play was losing that team fight and taking the opponent's boss during the next objective and winning the game off of it.
We definitely should have done boss. The call was actually made by Static, but I kind of overruled him and we just went on the tribute. And he got absolutely murked by that Diablo flank. It's like basically it was like, oh no, there's so many things going wrong. Somebody ultimate popped, and I see Static step in to the side, escape the APOC, and then I see the Diablo emerge from the bush, and it's just sort of a moment of, oh no.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely kind of one of those you can see it happening in slow motion moments for me as well.
I honestly don't know how the Diablo got there, so it was certainly
used to mount.
Yeah, but it felt
quick.
I did not expect the flank. It was pretty well played.
Yeah, they sure did. All right, well, let's rewind. Let's go back a little bit to game number 1. You've got the map pick. You go to Towers of Doom.
They had first pick.
Oh, they had first pick. Yeah, they had first pick. Yeah. Colors are apparently difficult. You have first pick, and then you end up losing the game. What maybe did you identify, because you won the 2 games after, what maybe did you identify as what caused that, and what kind of did you adjust to make that happen?
I think
the swaps.
There are 2 factors. I'll let Harb say the second one. But me running it down on Muradin certainly didn't help.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there were some anti-synergies between the haymakers and the Orphe ulti, the closing jaws. That wasn't so great.
I did save someone with a haymaker once, not on the enemy team, obviously. Like I did separate the Tychus from his team during the one fight where they were invading on our point.
There was also a non-zero number of times where you dwarf tossed into the enemy's kill zone, tried to haymaker, got shadow charged into their wall, and died for it.
Oh my word! Yeah, those 2 kills definitely gave them everything they needed to take control of the map again.
Yep, they were able to get bottom fort back, and it's the most important thing in the game on that map.
Yeah. You see, maybe I shouldn't just play Muradin on Smurfs. Maybe I should take him into actually, decent MMR levels, so that
or we could just practice it as a team.
Instead
of ripping it. Anyways,
my build.
Wait. Do you not play Muradin with your team normally?
We have once or
it's rare.
Twice. But it was like, okay, which honestly, there were so many picks that could have been better in retrospect. But I was like, we don't have all that much siege damage with our comp.
Johanna's got a great ultimate, and she's got amazing wave clear, but I like Muradin.
Yeah.
Got him.
Anyway. So
needless to say, I was forced into playing Johanna for the next 2 games.
Yeah, he got an earful
the next 2
from
games,
team,
so
I think that was enough.
Yeah. Anyways,
good job otherwise, though.
You said that there were 2 things.
Yeah.
I don't know what Osman is setting me up for to say otherwise. Maybe he's making me say Arc is getting caught out here and there.
Yeah. We definitely weren't calling rotations for him, and he was, often a victim to Diablo wallbangs in the mid lane on that map, and those were quite unfortunate.
Yeah, ReGen Phoenix has been especially good on Towers of Doom with their rotations and their rotational play between swapping the solo laner into the mid lane or swapping the whole team into the mid lane and getting picks. They've consistently done that for a very significant amount of time, so definitely a strong pick for ReGen Phoenix.
Yeah. It's something to emulate. I wanted to gank that Zul, but I didn't know how to approach it the same way they were doing it.
Yeah,
it helps having a Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bush charge CC is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then you go, and you get taken to Infernal Shrines, and they get what I would call a pretty classic ReGen Phoenix comp. And you guys cleaned up all the mistakes. There's no soul laner ganking. There's no Murden throwing. There are no plays being made, for better or for worse. How, and you cleaned up and won that game rather convincingly. What do you think was most instrumental to that?
Good macro. Really good macro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
I would
gonna...
agree. It felt like in game number 1, you were a little bit behind the tempo from ReGen Phoenix, and in game 2, you guys were the ones setting the tempo the whole game.
Yeah, definitely felt that way as well, and you had like a 3-level lead. By the time they hit 10, you were reaching 13. You're like 12, almost 13. That was pretty impressive off the back of just a lot of early picks. So,
if I may comment on that, it's part of where Ark really showed a lot of his strong suits, because he has a good intuition for when we're not going to be able to catch the mid lane, and he just books it and gets that soak. No questions asked, no hustle or fuss, and it's really something to appreciate. The other thing that I think was really valuable kind of came out of the Stukov and the Urel. The simple fact that they have this heavy dive comp, and we can just slap them away all the time.
Yeah, can I also say, I think my silent circles were pretty good, and when Kerrigan was coming into combo, she couldn't. And I think I'm gonna pat myself on the back and say I think disrupting those engagey combos was worked out really well.
Kind of experienced the same thing from their Stukov in game 1, which is like, oh, I can stun. Oh wait, no, I'm in a silent circle. Like, that was my perpetual experience in the first game. Not having something like Johanna's Iron Skin really is painful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Stukov 100% win rate through this series. So.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, and we mainly talked about game 3. I mean, it was clean macro all the way to the point. Let's talk about that one tribute fight, bottom right, where 8 players in total went down. How was that one? That was a great one to watch.
What?
I thought it was.
I mean, it was fairly intense. Ark wanted to catch the soak, wanted to get things done there. He gets cut off by the Diablo pretty much immediately, and we're stuck in this position where 4 of us are all, trapped on one side, and he has to go around the long way. And that led for a bit of a delay where we couldn't quite do things, and we got pushed off. But I felt that the moment the Jaina Blizzard went down, okay, this is the time for me to end. I got to see what my team can do, because we can get at least a kill off of this. It was, boy, pretty insane to watch.
Yeah. I was very, I don't know how to say it. Bizarre. Probably bad form on both teams' parts.
It could be good,
it's
though.
Like
it could be good
billiard.
form.
Yeah, right. But like a billiard, I don't know. Like you rack up all the pools and all the balls go scattering everywhere. Kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Stuka biotic armor and all that, heals well in traveling, and with everyone all dispersed, I think that might have been an edge. Although I don't remember how much. I don't know. The edge is so marginal in that fight. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
Super.
The reality is, they don't have a pure mage in that. They've got either hybrid damage or pure attack damage off Raynor. So the armor does come in clutch because they don't have anything that can ignore it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like they've got hybrid damage in Thrall, and Sylvanas does pretty good damage, but it's definitely not a Tassadar or something that's just gonna rip through the team and ignore the biotic armor.
Yeah, I mean, she took, weirdly enough, overwhelming affliction and remorseless, so she was going for an auto attack build. I mean, it's Sylvanas, so it's still hybrid damage, but it very much was something that we could mitigate effectively, especially with blinds, as well as the attack speed slow off of Zool. But yeah, the ultimates were honestly really surprising. Like the Sunder bricked me more than once, I think. Like I remember one time where I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wander in at 1% health and instantly die." So it was.
Oh yeah, I think I
that,
remember
that
that
wasn't
top lane. Yeah.
that wasn't a shining moment for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because I was honestly convinced it was gonna be Earthquake, and I was wrong. So
Yeah. But a very good match. The play between two teams. I was happy to play them. They're good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Arrow said this match will be fairly telling going forward. So looks like both of you doing fairly well in the standings. So hopefully we'll see you both again come playoffs times in about 2 months or so.
Wonderful.
So good luck to you. Good luck to ReGen Phoenix as well. You have any other questions, Ektar?
So, how do you feel about Diva?
Wish I could answer that. We're also in Heroes Lounge, and we don't always remember precisely the correct course of action. And thankfully, we got it to reset there before things got out of hand. We like Diva. I think if you play properly, you can deal probably more damage than you would think, or net more damage as you kind of trade with your tanky ass. And it seemed pretty good into Infernal Shrines because you can blow up the mech and score, I don't know, 10 Shrine Monkeys all at once. We can imagine that going over pretty well. We'll probably rip it sometime this season when it unlocks.
Tomorrow.
It also is definitely going to play
the game tomorrow. Actually.
In 4 hours, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also certainly plays well with how we want to have things go for Arc going forward. But yeah, try and gank him. We're not going to let that happen anymore. That's going to be the thing that we're going to spend the most time on ensuring doesn't happen ever.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And last thing I have is you're playing tomorrow the Careless Badgers, who also 2-1 ReGen Phoenix. So how have you looked into your doing your prep work against them, and do you have anything to say to the Careless Badgers should they be watching? They're probably not, but
sure.
Maybe they'll watch this game tomorrow for scouting.
Earlier today, I did watch the match between ReGen Phoenix and Careless Badgers. It was a good match. You might have noticed that the Cho'Gall ban in Game 1 on towers. We didn't want that to happen again. I mean, they didn't crush Badgers with Cho'Gall, but it's still not something you want to run into, especially considering this lead and orb nonsense that's emerging in the, that sounds ridiculous. I really don't want to see that. So we banned that. Careless Badgers look good. They do look good, and so we think tomorrow will be pretty competitive, pretty damn competitive between ourselves and the Badgers.
So yeah, anyone that's interested in some nice high-level Heroes of the Storm, catch that tomorrow, twitch.tv/Linehouse at 5:30 Pacific.
I was about to plug that. Perfectly well done, Ektar.
Thank you. Thank you so
this
much.
is why we cast together.
Yeah, well done. Well done. All right, well, if that's all for us, I think floor is yours for any shout-outs you want to make. So go on ahead.
Go ahead, Orth.
Wait. I don't have anything to say.
Okay, he doesn't have shout-outs. Thank you guys for casting. I'm going to shout out to you guys first and foremost.
Thank you so much.
I forget this part of the thing.
Right. Yeah. I'm the formality half of this duo. So I'm gonna say thank you so much. We love being casted, and that's a really neat privilege that you don't always get in other, all the time. And so we're really thankful to have some hype. Join these, be part of these matches here. I'm thankful for the team. And thankful for the subs that are always on call to hop in case the internet raid boss shows up and stuff like that. thankful to ReGen Phoenix because
Aye.
we know they're good. We don't know how well we're going to be in A East. We were B West earlier. And we did really well last season, and we weren't precisely sure how we're going to do this season yet. And we're really pleased to have 2-1 victories, and can't wait to see what how the rest of the season is going to go.
Aye. And shout out to Mudge. I'm not gonna lie, there is so much that I want to emulate out of him as a tank player.
Yeah,
Very
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mudge. Sure.
For sure. Shout out to Mudge. All right. Well, thank you all very much for joining us, and congratulations again. Good luck with the rest of your season.
And good
Thank
luck
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Escape.
Aye.
And we've escaped back to the casting bunker of the Lurk Patrol Discord.
So coordinated too.
Oh, very good. It's almost like we've practiced this once or twice. So that'll
We
be
genuinely have not.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll be the end of it for us. Let's see if there's anybody on the main Twitch page or on the main NGS page we can
I
go
can see Jason is casting right now. I don't know how far into his cast he is, so let's go ahead and open that stream.
1 game in, 2 games in, and can't tell for that one. So Jason it is. So
We like Jason. He's a good guy. He's cast us a bunch of times. Was the head caster previously, I think.
yes, for 2
Yeah.
seasons. 1, 2, 2.
An amount of time.
Between 1 and 2 seasons. So thank y'all for joining us. I will be back with Ektar on Friday. We might do it on Ektar's channel. We also might not. We'll find out for Puns Upon a Time against Lightly Salted, I believe is the next one we'll do. So
Yeah. That will be a bit of a biased game because we know some of the people on Puns Upon a Time, so we're going to be cheering for their downfall.
Perfect job. Perfect job. So thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, have a good time. See ya.
Bye-bye.